In a world where connection is just a click away, why do so many of us still feel alone? We send messages, react with emojis, and even say virtual hug. But can digital connection ever replace the warmth of human touch? Today on Mind the Gap, we explore the value of a hug, physical or virtual recognition in the digital age. What does a hug really mean? Is it just about physical contact, or is it about something deeper, about being seen, understood, and recognized? So, can technology ever truly bridge the gap? And if not, what can we do to stay connected in a way that truly matters? It's time to find out. Here's Michael.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone gave you a social hug? Not just a quick greeting, but a real, lingering hug that made you feel seen, safe, or just understood. If you had to think for a moment, you're not alone. In our hyper-connected yet physically distant world, hugs are becoming something of a luxury. But here's the paradox. While many of us feel the absence of physical closeness, we're more digitally connected than ever. So, can technology truly replace the warmth of a hug? A hug is more than just arms around a person. It's an affirmation of presence, a reassurance, a silent, I see you, without needing words. Science tells us that hugs release oxytocin, lower stress, and make us feel part of something bigger than ourselves. But if we can't be in the same room, how do we bridge that gap? The answer isn't straightforward, but humans have always adapted. And as we explore virtual alternatives, it's not just about sending a hug emoji or about finding ways to create real emotional closeness, even when we're physically apart. But in today's world, where personal boundaries, digital connections, and cultural norms all shape how we engage, what does a hug truly mean? Think for a moment. When was the last time you hugged a friend? Did it feel natural, or did you hesitate? Are you someone who instinctively reaches out for an embrace, or do you prefer a wave, a nod, or a simple smile? In an era of unparalleled digital connectivity, when instant messages traverse the globe in seconds, a virtual meeting replaces boardroom handshakes. We must ask, has technology made us more distant from one another? The irony is sharp. While we're more accessible than ever before, something vital has been lost. The warmth of a handshake, the squeeze of an arm in reassurance, or the simple embrace of a hug carries a depth of human recognition that no emoji or thumbs-up reaction can fully replace. This exploration of the value of a hug, whether physical or virtual, goes beyond sentimentality. I think it speaks to the very core of human needs, the need for recognition, for belonging, for being seen. Yet in a world increasingly cautious about physical boundaries, particularly in professional and cross-generational settings, how do we balance the psychological benefits of touch with the necessity of maintaining appropriateness and respect? The act of embracing is a form of greeting or emotional expression, and it's deeply embedded in our human history. Anthropologists suggest that hugging evolved from early human survival behaviours, where close physical contact fostered group cohesion and trust. Ancient societies used different forms of physical touch as gestures of respect and allegiance. In the Roman Empire, physical greetings ranged from elaborate handshakes to full embraces amongst close allies, symbolising loyalty and trust. Greek philosophers, including Aristotle, viewed physical connection as essential to human flourishing. During the Middle Ages, knights and nobles often exchanged firm embrace before battle, a gesture signifying honour, duty and connection before an uncertain fate. And many indigenous traditions around the world incorporate touch in ritual of uniting, healing and reconciliation. The Maori Hongi, forehead and nose pressed together, sharing breath and life itself. Over time, norms evolved, influenced by religious beliefs, modern etiquette, shaping how different cultures approached physical closeness today. The human brain is wired for connection. Oxytocin, often dubbed the bonding or hug hormone, surges during moments of affectionate physical touch, fostering trust and lowering stress. A warm hug, even lasting as little as 20 seconds, can have measurable effects on reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, and increasing feelings of security and connections. Studies in neuroscience show that infants who experience consistent, loving touch develop stronger emotional resilience. Similarly, older adults who receive physical touch report higher levels of well-being and reduced anxiety. In times of crisis, the simple act of embracing a loved one provides deep reassurance beyond words. Yet it's not merely about the psychological response. Recognition. Being acknowledged as a valuable human being has deep social and psychological significance. The simple act of a hug can validate emotions, provide comfort, and reinforce social bonds. However, in an era where virtual interactions often substitute for face-to-face connections, how does this recognition translate digitally? During the COVID-19 pandemic, when physical contact was restricted, people turned to digital solutions. Heartfelt video calls, messages filled with supportive words, even virtual hugs via emojis. While these adaptations provided a form of social subsistence, studies suggest that they're not entirely interchangeable with physical touch. The physical replication of intimacy lacks the sensory input that deepens a connection. However, for many, virtual recognition, whether through a thoughtful message, a well-timed call, or an act of digital empathy, has become a crucial element of modern connection. The question remains, are we building a world where touch deprivation becomes the norm? Or can we find a balance between technological convenience, that Zoom call, and the irreplaceable nature of human presence? Around the world, cultures have vastly different approaches to personal space, physical closeness, and touch. In Latin America and Southern Europe, hugs, cheek kisses, and frequent touching during conversations are common and expected expressions of warmth. In Scandinavia or Japan, these cultures prioritize personal space, with physical touch often reserved for close family or an intimate relationship. In the Middle East and South Asia, physical contact varies. Gender norms play a significant role, with men often engaging in affectionate embraces, while cross-gender touching remains more formalized. These differences highlight how deeply cultural conditioning influences our comfort with physical closeness. In a globalized world, understanding these nuances fosters better communication and indeed mutual respect. Rugby pitches and funerals. Two recent experiences. But some of the most profound communication happens without words, and nowhere is this clearer than at the moment where a hug replaces speech. Consider the unspoken camaraderie of men, or indeed women, on a rugby pitch, where a bone-crushing embrace after a hard-fought match speaks volumes about respect, endurance, or shared struggle. In that moment, the hug isn't just an expression of celebration or support. It's an acknowledgement of the physical and emotional investment each player has made. Similarly, in times of grief, such as at a funeral, words often fail, where a hug succeeds. The silent embrace between two friends in mourning says what language cannot, that they're not alone in their sorrow. It transcends the limitations of speech, offering solidarity, comfort, and recognition of a shared loss. In both cases, the hug serves as a primal, deeply formal form of recognition that validates our experiences and emotions without the need for explanation. What would the Stoics say? Would the Stoics, with their emphasis on inner resilience and control over external circumstances, see a hug as an unnecessary indulgence? Perhaps. Yet even Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations frequently reminds himself of the interconnectedness of human beings.
What injures the hive injures the bee.
We are not solitary creatures. Our well-being is interwoven with those around us. A hug, a pat on the back, given or received, can be seen as a moment of shared humanity, a non-verbal acknowledgement that we're part of something greater than ourselves. In the end, the value of a hug is not solely in the act itself. It's in what it represents: acknowledgement, empathy, and recognition of the human experience. Whether physical or virtual, we must ensure that our ways of connecting remain meaningful and attuned to the diverse needs and boundaries of those around us. Mind the gap.
So, can a virtual hug ever truly replace the real thing? Maybe not. But what really matters isn't just the touch itself. It's the recognition, the connection, the simple act of saying, "I see you." In a world where we are more connected than ever but often feel further apart, maybe the challenge isn't just about finding digital substitutes for physical touch. Maybe it's about being more intentional, about reaching out, making time, and showing up for the people who matter, whether through words, a call, or just really listening. Because in the end, connection isn't about proximity, it's about presence. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mind the Gap. If something in today's conversation resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more episodes that explore the spaces between what we know, what we feel, and what we need to understand. Until next time, stay connected, stay present, and maybe, just maybe, go give someone a real hug.